back. Let's do some work on a bot. For those watching on YouTube, this one hasn't started out particularly well. This stream, you've just walked in partway through one. In fact, let me. Oh, what do you mean it may not be available? Yeah. So let me now change this to C++. Okay, maybe some bot work. Okay, so maybe we're doing some bot work tonight as well. Why is this moaning at me? It could not be opened. Why could that not be opened? Don't show again. Oh, hello. Have we got an update? Oh, well, go on. Let's see how long this will take. Oh, 144 meg. That won't take long. Hello there, Tobinautilus. BitKing, I'm not asking about text editor versus text editor. That would be rather idiotic of me. Right, why do I not have a copy of the bot on here? What's going wrong? Do I actually not have a copy of the bot on here? Is this one of the big problems? FuelSnable, what's a word for a nested fold? Isn't that bind? Is that not bind? Okay, client public, what's going on here? I might actually have to quickly go and grab that bot. Because I might not even have it on here at the moment. Obviously after the reinstall. Although I thought that was one of the things I did get. Thought I got that back pretty quickly. Bot work, we will do because I did put it in the vote. This could take a few moments though. So let me go into source tree, go and grab the bot, and then I will do the Twitch log-on-y stuff. In fact, I'll do it on this machine, I think. Twitch.tv. Where are we? CPP Twitch soundbot. Let's pull that. Okay, so the fact that that's there should tell me that I already have a copy of it. Where is it actually located then? Ah! Okay, it's somewhere else. That's why. That makes more sense. So let me kill that off, fire that up, which I know you can't see part of what's on parts of my screen. That's partly on purpose. And we're back into Visual Studio Full, which is a bit of a pity. I quite like code. Okay, yeah, the chatting is all still there. FuelSnable, folders in list.fold, but you've got a nested fold. I think the only word I can think of for that is in need of refactoring. I don't know. We have a solution. Let's go Solution Explorer. Let's remember that Solution Explorer now lives over there, back where it did in the VB4 days. Now you've seen me go completely off-piste because we haven't really looked too much at this bot for a while. One thing I'm going to do though is log in as the bot, purely because I want it to. Oh, come on, log in Twitch. Let me do it. I want to try changing the capitalization of the bot. Not now, and no, I don't want your stupid hello-y thing, Twitch. I don't want you. What's it? Right, let me go into the bot options here. Settings. Normally there's a method called collect, which is very useful. To be fair, I always thought that collect was bind. I always thought that's what collect essentially was. Right, let's get the capitalization right for Hubblebot. There we go. It'll prefer that. So if I spin this bot up, we have a bot running. So, yeah, Hubblebot is now online. So if I do the horn command, that worked. Okay, and I can do. Is it dice on here? Or did I go random? See, I can't even remember my own commands. Okay, I asked for a random number and rolled a 4. Let me guess, do I roll a 4 every time? Yes, I do. Okay, rolling 4s every time is what happens, so this hasn't yet been actually randomised. Minxie Rose, don't tell Voodoo. I'm not telling Voodoo. I'm not telling people anything. I'd rather not. But what you'll notice is we have commands, don't we? What I'd like to do at some point is I think we need a way of people being able to add a command. So something like... Well, actually, before we do that, let's not do this in this order. Let's go the other order and say that what we'll actually do is implement a way of working out which users are allowed to execute which commands. So, Twitch IRC, because I could see where this was going to go otherwise. This was going to become problematic. Oh, that was the how to embed this, wasn't it? Oh, all right. dev.twitch.tv. We can tell I've been working on Old Man Teacher a load. Let's go to chatbots and IRC. Twitch IRC membership. I want to know, as a bot, what people are allowed to do. So there's names. So I can get lists of names. So the chatters in the Dallas channel are Ronnie, Fred, Wilma, Barney and Betty. But do I get to know who is allowed to do what by using that command? Obviously joining a channel is something I can do quite easily. Give moderators, so I can give or remove moderator privileges through that, and I can depart from a channel. Commands, can I grab? Okay, so we can clear chat, so we can purge someone's messages, we can delete a certain message. Okay, we've got things that we can do to people. Tags. Can I grab some information on who someone is? User state. So there's something here about user state which has got all sorts of interesting stuff here. So how does this work? How do I use this user state? Hang on, to get this kind of information, let's fire this bot up again and see exactly what information it gets. It might be that this is where we have to do the Twitch membership stuff. So Hubblebot is now online. And it said that we've got end of names list. So we're not getting a names list necessarily. We might actually have to join with more interesting things than that. We might have to start looking at parsing messages as well. So this is a bit of a bigger, more interesting issue that we've got to. And I keep getting my phone rumbling like mad. So all of these tags, they must come up at some point. So guide. Let's have a look at the guide. Syntax note to there, cool. Connecting there. We've got that. Known and verified bots. We're not one of those yet because I haven't submitted the paperwork for that. Because right now we don't need that. To receive membership state events after a successful join, you must request the membership capability. Okay. So for me to request that capability, oh, I can request there's tags. So I can do a request for tags. Okay. And then chat rooms allows joining and receiving messages in chat rooms. So membership tells me who's joining, who's leaving. Tags gives me all the tags, and it's with the command property. So let's just do the simple thing and go, okay, send messages that. Before we do anything else, let's go, and we've joined the channel. So we should just be able to do twitch.send and not forgetting the carriage return new line at the end, as is our usual issue, and that's requesting the tags capability. So refiring this up, let's see what we get. They've acknowledged our tags request, so if people want to start chatting, and let's see what comes up in the bot itself. Although this won't work if people all of a sudden go quiet on me. Let's up the font a little bit as well. I think we need a slightly bigger one. Okay, excellent. Minxie Rose has just put something in. What do we chat about now? We've broken our bot to some degree, because we've now got a message in a completely different format. We've got the colon, the starting colon isn't at the start of the line anymore. So far the bot's broken. We need to fix that at least. Let's grab this, pull it out into, well, VS Code, because we can use it as a simple text editor. A new window, quit that one, go there. New file, paste. Now this is not going to be particularly easy. Let me just quickly split this somewhere reasonably like this. So you can see that we've got quite an amount of detail here about Minxie Rose. Might as well use you as the example, since you're the first one to put a message in there. This all looks to be very semicolon delimited. And then after then is a space. Now up until there's been no space. And then it's the usual thing that we get. Does that make some semblance of sense? So to repair the bot as it is now, instead of looking for something beginning with a colon, we're looking for anything up to the first colon, or, well, up until a space colon. So let's say, well, this is, oh wow, this is pretty huge actually. So beginning of line. Dot plus space. Let's see if that helps us as a regex. So if we respin the bot, we should now be able to, if I type something, well, let me kick a command off. And that's just worked. So we're now at least ignoring that front part of the message. Simply, all we've done there is fixed a very small thing, and we're now getting all sorts of information out of Twitch. That's handy. Now that we've done that, let me, well, first off, I need to go and, oh wow, we've got a lot of people to thank now. Let me do some more thank yous for people who are hosting midstream. These are again, I believe, auto hosts, otherwise it would have flashed up. Thank you to Finkel, Tyler on Hart, Upgrading Dave, Kim Philpotts, Rhyolite, English, Calvin Allen, Viking Coder, Robert Tables, Scroll, James Wantamagno, Brendan Matthews, Zorkenheimer, and Yak Pie. Thank you very much for the hosts and the auto-host. You are all awesome people and people of awesomeness. Let's not forget that. I'm thinking it's coming on for time for a quick coffee break. But I definitely think that there's something we can do here around starting to parse out this kind of information. Maybe we could end up building some form of parser. Maybe. Mingxi Rose, coffee fairy time. I would say it probably is, yes. Yes, please. Right, well, with that, hi Moiku, how are you doing? I knew Fuel Snable would pipe up with parsers. Yeah, Fuel Snable, at the moment, we have a nice big regular expression, and it's only going to get worse because we want to parse sort of this kind of information out as well. You know, I definitely want to know if someone's a mod, if someone's a VIP. So, we've done what we're going to do on What's It For Tonight on Old Man Teacher, because we fixed the bug that's been plaguing us for a while. And we're now going to have a look at this bot and trying to parse all this out. I mean, where there are new lines, except for line 15 there, it's all smushed into one. I just split them to make it easier to read for us all. So, that being said, I will be back in approximately 5 minutes. I'm not going to stick a timer on, but just let everyone know, please, that comes into chat that I will be back very soon, as I normally am. Let me hit the right button. And I will see you all in 5. Thank you. Have fun. Make sure you stand up. Make sure you have a walk around. All the rest of it. All the good stuff. You know what I mean. In fact, it'll resume exactly now, I would say. How is everyone? Hope we've all got up, got round, gone and done whatever we all need to do. Make sure everyone takes care of themselves. Make sure you've got a drink or something. Make sure you've had one. And let's go and have a look quickly back at where we were. So this is now the format of the message that Twitch sends to us. So whenever anyone sends a message on Twitch, we get that kind of format in IRC. So, it starts with an @ and then it's text equals text semicolon pairs. So it goes something like @ key equals value semicolon delimited. So a couple of those, then space colon username, bang username @ username.tmi. Well, all of that. So let's just, for the sake of ease of use, stick the square brackets in where we've got subs. And of course, there's no semicolon there. Hi there, Codebase Alpha, how are you doing? Slight change of plan tonight because we fixed the bug earlier that we were looking at in Old Man Teacher. We took a bit of a vote on straw poll that didn't work, so we took a bit of a vote in chat. And we're now working a little bit on the bot to catch up on Sunday's stream. So this is kind of what we've got. We've got the whole thing in 2 parts, split by the space colon. So it's @ and then all of those, which are key value pairs, which we could just store in some form of dictionary. And then the rest of it. And that way we can start getting more of a we can start getting a record back, a struct back for what user information we've got for each message, so that we can start deciding on, well, is it mods only? Is it a sub only thing? So we've got mod equals 1, subscriber equals 1, user type equals mod. Oh gosh, hang on, that's stopped. Do me a favour in a second. Do me a favour now, Agency Hubblebots Online, Codebase Alpha. Can you type something in chat for me, please? Because you've got the VIP status, I want to see how that comes out on here. So if you or Fuel Snable, I think's got it as well, just anything random in chat whatsoever, obviously within the rules. Thank you, Codebase Alpha has put hello bot. Cool. Let me see if I can get some interesting information there about our type, our user types. Oh gosh, again I have to do all of that, don't I? Badge info subscriber. Aha, hello, it comes up in the badges. I can already see where that comes up now, but we'll do the splits just to make sure that everything works. Room ID, sub, TMI, sent timestamp, turbo, user ID, user type, and then nothing. Oh, now that's interesting. User type can be a blank. Try using a T4 template for this. On the grounds that we're using C++, I don't think a T4 template is the correct option. Unfortunately. And we have to handle the user type equals blank. Yeah, I get that, but I have to mention it. Oh, here we go. Someone said T4, didn't they? I forgot. I goofed. That
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know it doesn't make sense. What? T4 is often a good choice in C++.
I feel like I should say something smart.
So do I, but I'm not convinced that that's going to work. Yeah, that's right. Coffee. You've used T4 many times in C++. Oh, now I have to look at this. Oh, Codebase Alpha, you have to have a sad trombone. I mean, the thing is, when everything goes well, you do this. With all the reverb feedback, because I am not being intelligent and I forgot to drop my speakers. Yay! Anyway, I can't see this being a templating job, more a case of parsing. So, what kind of parser should we write, people, to do this? It looks pretty regular, to be fair, this kind of stuff. So it does just look like a single pass would work. Oh yeah, you can generate anything with T4. It was more integrating it. Oh no, I would completely agree that T4 is the correct way to generate something like C++. It just is. That gives you guys a better look, doesn't it? In fact, no, we do need that one on. Yeah, there you are. You can see things better now. I think the exposure's a bit more... Oh, actually, not so much. What happens if I make that go completely the other way around? No, that's not going to work. Let's use C++ to generate JavaScript. Do you know what, Codebase Alpha? You could go the other way around happily, but C++ to generate JavaScript, I'm not convinced is a me thing. Okay. Minxie Rose, what is T4? It's not a dumb question at all. T4 it stands for text. Oh gosh, now that's a good question. What does T4 stand for? Text transfer. It's Text Template Transformation Toolkit. Yeah, Text Template Transformation Toolkit. T4 is much easier to say. And essentially, it is a file that you use to intersperse text and code in such a way that you are generating more code. I tend to see it used mainly with C# style code inside. C# or VB.NET code. Okay, cool. That works. Yeah, it's been in Visual Studio since 2005, and one or two people internally in Microsoft have said we should add highlighting for this. So of course they never did. For a little bit of history, for people who remember sort of the original ASP.NET template scaffolding, I don't know if it still uses T4, but that was the first place I saw T4, was in scaffolding views for ASP.NET MVC back in the web form view engine days, which of course had absolutely everything to do with web forms, except it had nothing to do with them at all, really. I would imagine they're still using T4 for that kind of thing, to be fair. Although I know Identity kind of does its own weirdliness, because Identity does. Okay, so that's that little aside done. We still have to answer the question of how are we going to parse this, remembering that we're not getting it in that way, but we're actually getting it all in one line. So we're getting it all in one line like that. Regex, Fuel Stable, I mean, that is still an option. That is still very, very much an option. It's one that I'm not a fan of. I think there's a hybrid approach doable here. So we can do something like, I don't know, this, and then we'll group that dot plus, which now means that should be 2, 3, 4, and that would be 2 and a 4 there. And then we essentially go, for now, something like attributes. Yeah, using regex always improves the readability of your code. I don't do regex myself. I'm not great with it. Match 1. And line. Okay, so now what we've got is at least we're going to get the attributes out. Regex is okay to a point. I think we're at a point now with regexes where I don't really like. I think we've gone a little too far with it. Why does attributes not? Oh, attributes will come up, I think, somewhere. So yeah, attributes. So we're getting the attributes out. So we're at least getting a string that we can start splitting on and things. But I don't know. Have we gone too far with the regex there? Because I question what sense it makes having a regular expression this big, this long, and we're still not getting all of the information coming out. Codebase Alpha, the IRC output doesn't give me JSON. Through IRC, you get standard IRC style stuff. JSON, I think. I think there is a way of getting JSON out of the Twitch API, but I think you have to go through. Excuse me. I think you have to go through something like this, where you get the webhooks or something like that. Can't remember exactly. Oh, it's in the pub sub. Sorry, I do remember this. So this is you connect in using a WebSocket, and you can get what's it that way. Now that would have meant either finding a WebSocket library or writing our own. Whereas with IRC, it works on very, very standard sockets. So we've gone down the IRC socket route just because it's easier. Hi, James Does Games. How are you doing? You can use pointers, but you don't understand why they exist. You can do any task without them. What is their purpose? Their purpose, really, as far as I can tell, well, no, they are pointers into memory. So if you need to get access to a bit of memory, you get a pointer to it. So if you want to get something on the heap rather than on the stack, you're probably using pointers. I think, is that what the idea is for? In what language? In C. Remember, I'm only learning C++ now, so I don't know huge amounts. I would imagine that there are. Okay, that's a good question from Fuel Snable. If you want to implement a tree structure, how do you do it without pointers? Now James Does Games, you've just fallen into the classic trap. What is an array in C? What is a C array? I would assume. It's a pointer. Arrays in C are pointers. Hi there, Coding System Security. How are you doing? Yeah, just to sort of go to the scratch buffery area I've got here. The declaration. Well, we've all seen this, haven't we? Int main. Int argv. Argc. Sorry. Car. Star argv. Now we've got car star there. We can also do it as that. In C, realistically, an array and a pointer are the same thing. Well, not necessarily. Array syntax over pointers. So, you know, argv 5 would be equal to argv plus 5, let's say, for pointer arithmetic. James Dunn Games, yes, you can make an int a 10 like that. And then address of A1. And then you're using pointers still. Just because you're not using the star there, star A1. Yeah, I mean, as Code and System Security says there, you're essentially doing the same as making the pointer that way. Remember, in C, as I've said, as far as I'm aware, array syntax is syntactic sugar over the pointers. So the question now becomes, if you want to implement a tree structure in C or C++ without arrays, because we've just asserted that arrays are pointers, just it's a nice syntax over the top, how would you do it? Yeah, so int 8 to 10 is the same as doing an int pointer. Int pointer A is equal to an int pointer malloc size of int times 10. I did mute Minxie Rose. I eventually. But yeah, I think that we're doing, even if you don't think you're using pointers directly, you are eventually using pointers just by virtue of the fact that you are pointing at something. So that being said, now to go back kind of on topic, we were kind of discussing regexes, and my question to chat is, now that we've got all of this extra information coming through, and this regex is starting to look decently large. I mean, that is the regex itself. I'm getting less and less confident that that particular regex is going to hold up to what we want, because at the moment it's just pulling back at this point the keyword value pairs. We still need to parse those out. And even so, that's the keyword value pair. Then we've got the username. Then we've got more sort of, that's the username again, and that's the username again, but hey, we're just kind of not bothering with that. And then it's the TMI Twitch TV, private message, a channel name, and then finally the message. But none of that is particularly easy to get. That's really there's a lot of complexity there. There's a lot of things happening that we've got no compiler feedback from, that is essentially a black box to us. Even though it may not necessarily be as performant as this, are we now at the point where realistically a parsing solution is the answer? Or do we do a hybrid thing where we keep this, and for this block here, this keyword pair, this keyword split, do we then just parse those attributes out there and do something like that? I think for now we'll do something like that. So we need to grab the reply. That gives us the matches. Then we need to do something like auto. Well, is there a dictionary in C++? Is there? Is it called a map? What are the C++ collections? C++ dictionary. Because I don't know them particularly well. Again, std map. Cool. And map is in which head file, do we think? Let's go to the C++ reference and get the answers. So it's in... Where are we basing it? Oh, we're in... Hang on, is there a map header file? Yeah, there's a map header file. Okay, let's include that. So we've got map there. So essentially what we want to do then is go get the attributes and have that as attributes for match 1, let's say. Okay, so where is it moaning? Map goes from something to something, of course, so let's say goes from a string to a string. Attributes for doesn't exist. Well, it can learn to exist now. What? I can't just do that. Alright then, fair enough. Let's grab this out and stuff it somewhere. So, standard map. Attributes for at a list. And obviously that needs to be defined. And for now, let's just return one of the an empty one of those. Well, let's go. Oh yeah, const. Yeah, we're doing the const stuff, aren't we? Like that. So. And of course that needs to be constructed, and then we'll just return results for now. Quick question: is there any reason why that can't be const expr, and why this can't be const expr as well? Okay, so that's saying it can't be because it can't have a non-literal type. Okay, that's fine. Oh, do you not have to do? Don't you have to call a constructor? Do I really not have to do that? Results dot. Oh, it implicitly calls constructors. Oh, that's kind of cool. And can we now just do the stupid, does this sort of syntax work? Is that a thing? Oh, you're getting long delays again, are you, Fuel Stable? So does this do what I think it does? And if I come down here after we've called that, can I do a cout of I don't know, attributes foo equals, and then literally that. Well, close to that anyway. So first thing is, does that just work? Well, apparently no. That can't result in a constant expression. Okay, so didn't think that that would actually work, but fair enough. Hubblebots online, attributes foo equals bar. So that works. So next question I have to ask is what happens if we call something that's undefined? undefined there, and see what happens. Does it give us a null back, or does it go bang? Ah, it just gives us a null back. Okay, that's kind of cool, actually. So realistically, that's the way to get the attributes. We just need to split on semicolons first, which I suspect there is going to be a string split in here somewhere. At a list dot split. At a guess. Alright, doesn't seem to exist. Are there any splits at all? C++ string split. Do we get that? Maps also support initializer lists as well. Oh, that's handy to know. Let's have a look at. Don't want the C library. Don't want the C library. String splitting in C++ is not good, code and system security. Oh no. Don't tell me that. I was hoping to just do a split and a split again. Struttalk. Oh no. I think I've seen this before. I think we have to go this route, don't we? Hang on, this is in C string. Have we really got to do this? Have we really got to do the C string version of it? You can do it using S string. String streams. Header providing string stream classes. Basic string stream. Hang on a second. Yeah, no, we're not going to go string token. So what does this do? This operates on strings. Basic string stream does. So we've got all sorts of member types, templates, instantiations. Have we got member functions? Or these are all inherited from iStream. These are from OStream. There's peaks. There's all that stuff. Public member functions. I guess there isn't just a straight split. I'm guessing that to use SStream, something like this, we have to manually split. We have to manually read through and get the split. Using substring to index of a delimiter is another way. Fuel Snable. How common is the usage of Boost? So far, I've quite enjoyed not using any other sort of libraries. And we've gone an incredible way using just the Windows API and no external libraries. I don't know if I want to break that yet, or if we want to, allow Boost to be used. I mean, if it's used all the time in the real world, I can see an argument for it, but there's also an argument that says that, well, if Boost can do it in C and C++, so can we. So I don't know. The good thing about many libraries in Boost is that they're header only. Actually, let's rewind a little, shall we? Let's suggest that we're going to let's have a look at what Boost is, because so far all I know of Boost is that it's a C++ library. TBD Gamer, header only. Now I do know of one header only library that I can show. It's where there's no DLL, there's no lib file. The header is the whole of the import. Good evening, Fuberius One. Pixel Game Engine. by One Lone Coder is a brilliant example of a header-only library. So if we have a look, let me go to the code, and I do know the library is One Lone Coder, OLC, pixelgameengine.h. All of the code for the Pixel Game Engine is in this header. So you use this header, you include this into your code, and that's it. You've got everything there. So by it being a header-only library, you haven't got to link against libraries. You literally just do an include. You go include this source file and use it, and it's all in the same compilation unit as your stuff. Welcome in, Fubarius. How are you doing? Yeah, as Fuel Snable says, you don't need to compile a lib to use the code. You just use the header file and you're good to go. It just works. You designed a similar thing for C# to include code using header only. I've done that kind of thing in... I like it. I really like header only libraries. To be fair, that makes me happy to use Boost. Now that I know that we're looking at header only as a rule, I'm very, very happy to use it, because it makes my compilation no more difficult. I don't have to remember to link to anything. I don't have to remember how to do anything. All I do is I include the header file and it's in. And yeah, I mean, you know, that is very vintage Fubarius. It is, but you know what? It worked back in the day. I don't see why it wouldn't work now. So let's pull down a copy of Boost. Boost 1.7 7-zip. Because I think I have got 7-zip on here. I haven't. Okay. Let's install 7-zip. We can do the thing. TBD Games, if you're writing the examples you just found, you think I'm going to prefer the boosted way of string splitting? I think I will, but I think what we will do before we actually do it, because it's me, is I want to look at the code and I want to see how it does the string split. I mean, that's the other thing that I love about header-only libraries, is I can now go, you know what, all I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this code and I can change things around or whatever. I like that there's nothing there that's hidden behind a DLL. Upgrading Dave, you've got to run. Enjoy yourself. For everyone, can we have another shout out please in chat for Upgrading Dave, Minxie Rose? Yeah, allowing certain people to create their own chatbot commands is... I just like the idea that I'd like to let the mods create quotes or create the odd command in chat in case I'm too busy saying things and a mod wants to add something. So I think that's a feature that we need. And it drives so many extra things in the whole... it'll drive so much development. Like, we'll have to have a way of persisting those things, right? Come on, I can do a thing. See users, this user, downloads, modified. When do we do that? Boost, 7-zip, extract to there. So we'll extract. Wow, we're getting some vector graphics. Is it doing the document? Have I got the documentation and everything in here? Downloads, Boost. I mean, this is incredible if this is what I think this is. Yeah, it's going to have really good compression on it as well, because text normally does. Fuel Snable's suggesting if I look at the code that's shipped with compilers, I normally become very scared. Yes, I do. But Boost has the good code visible and hides the ugly, horrible thing you have to do in the detail files. And there's a lot of files in Boost. Yeah, I think... Am I right in thinking then, if Boost has got so many header-only libraries in it, do I get to go, do you know what, I'm going to include the string library out of Boost, but nothing else? And can I just copy that header file there? This is the reason you use precompiled headers, except I'm not using precompiled headers, remember, Fuel Snable. I disabled that option. I'm not using precompiled headers. Now, if I'm going to have to use precompiled headers just to do a little bot, then I'm not going to be happy. If I can't compile a quick bot in a second or two, when I've got, when I know people who can compile a game in not much more time, I'm going to struggle to justify this. And I'm going to end up writing my own small string splitting library just because I'm not really overly happy with including everything. I mean, all joking aside, there's half an argument to say let's get rid of the C runtime library. No, Fuel Snable, the game that I'm referring to doesn't. Handmade Hero, which is the one that Casey Muratori's doing, he doesn't use precompiled headers as far as I'm aware. In fact, to be fair, he doesn't compile using Visual Studio. He compiles using the CL command line option. He never really uses Visual Studio at all. But because he's not using libraries, from what I've seen, he can get stuff to compile pretty much instantly. I mean, I believe he's even trying to rip the C runtime out of it, which is something even I'm not going to do that. GCC, we're not talking about GCC here either, Fuel Snable. We're on about MSVC. Just calling it at the command line rather than calling MSVC, using Visual Studio. So he's not using precompiled headers as far as I'm aware. He's not using GCC, he's using MSVC. I mean, could we potentially add the precompiled headers back into this? Is there a reasonable argument that says that that's doable? Or by setting this up without precompiled headers, have I kind of goofed it? Can I go add new item, for instance, and bring up precompiled headers somewhere? Search header. Not there. Precompiled headers are a cache of constant data. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I think it's a symptom rather than a cause. I think that if a small program such as this needs that cache of constant data to be performant in compilation, then I am using far more libraries than I should have to. So I think that's a symptom rather than a problem. Also, it's an added thing. And while we're doing things simply, let's keep them as simple as possible. Let's keep out all the anything that we don't need. Yeah, I get your point there, Fuel Snable, but these are all included in the C++ runtime, and we're not using precompiled headers. And I know where you're going. But I don't know if necessarily. I don't know. I don't know where the line is here. So what I do know is that there are two index files, which is confusing me. Let me have a look at file name extensions. Okay, so fire this up in Firefox. Getting started. If Boost hasn't already been installed on your system, follow the Getting Started guide. But if you've reached this point by installing it from Windows pre-built executable, it's been done. Well, it hasn't. So let's say that we've got, getting started on Microsoft Windows. Get Boost. Well, we have Boost. We've got a path to a Boost root directory, which, let's put it in C program files Boost. We can do that. Copy C program files. I suspect, well, I'm not putting it in the 86 version because, let's face it, if we're compiling this, it's going to be 64-bit because we're compiling it that way. So we now have Boost in there. And it's going to go exactly where it belongs. Yes, it can have admin privileges. That's absolutely 100% fine. You've written Win32 apps in less than 8K, then you don't use anything at all. Does that mean, FuelSnable, that you even excluded something as daft as... did you get rid of the C runtime library to get that small? It's more than likely for the standard library stuff, as really everyone compiling it themselves would be ridiculous every time we wanted to use a set standard document that isn't typically modified by the user. Yeah, that's something about precompiled headers. C runtime has to go. Exceptions have to go. Well, to be honest, FuelSnable, do you want me to rant about exceptions? I think exceptions have to go in all code. I just don't like them. I want rid of them. I want them to disappear from the face of the planet and be swapped with result types. Get off my lawn. And drink coffee. Coffee good. I can coffee. So to compile anything in Boost, you need a directory containing the Boost subdirectory in my include path. So, and then we just do the include. Well, okay, I think I can do the thing there. Let's do that, shall we? So we need Boost root, which is the directory that we're creating now. That one. That needs to be in our includes. Okay, I can do that. Let's see if I can remember how to do that. Project properties. Have we got an includes? VC and VC++. Include directories. Would it be worth me also making this Boost directory an environment variable? Would that be a thing? Would that even help me necessarily? I'm going to say, do we get the path in here? Okay, so we do. So the Boost directory could become an environment variable. Is that something that people tend to do? Let's do the thing there, shall we? So let's add that. Because I get the impression that new Boost root. So I know the docs talk about it being called Boost root as well. So let's do that. At which point we'll try this again and see if we get anything more interesting. No, that can go away. Oh, macros is there. Boost root hasn't come up yet, has it? No. Do I need to... let's kill VS and then bring it back. Let's see if we've at least got the Boost root in there. Come on, VS. Load up. Thank you. So, VCC++ directories, include directories, edit, macros. Yeah, Boost root needs to be one of them. Boost root. Okay, so we've now got Boost included. And the theory is that when we go for, well, we're not going to use those necessarily, are we? I don't think. Let's see if we can just hack about and play with Boost. Let's see if there's one called string, is there? What did FuelSnable suggest? Because I remember FuelSnable suggesting Boost algorithm string.hpp. Okay. boost. Oh, come on. Algorithm string.hpp. Okay, that was a suggestion. Expected a file name. Well, you got one. Do you know what? We've been streaming a little while longer. I'm going to have another quick break, and then I think we're going to carry on for a bit longer because I'm enjoying this. So, apologies for the short notice. I do need a quick break. I will be back soon. Everyone take care of yourselves. Stand up, have a drink, have a walk around, all that other good stuff. And I will see you in a few minutes. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. I heard someone punch my follow button. Who did that? Code and System Security, thank you very much for the follow. Right, sorry that was a while. Yeah, not been feeling over well, have I? Okay, so we're now getting warnings from boost stuff. This kind of function may not throw declare it no except. That's slightly annoying. Thank you very much, Minxie Rose. Thank you, Code and System Security. Yeah, so boost is now saying that we've got functions that may not throw declare it now except. Okay, we'll look into that. Can I look at, I don't want to look at building instructions anymore. I just want to look at the thing that we're doing stuff with. Boost website version. Let's go to the Boost website. Let's go to their docs site in general. Current release, algorithm, reference for string. That might help. Cumulative include for the string algo library. What kind of algorithms are we looking at? Any of equal, mismatch, clamp, whatever. Can we look at something around here then? How do we search the boost docs? That's what I now need to know. I now need to see how to get to docs where we can go, I want to do a searching for things. Libraries? No, because that's all back to where we were. Boost string split. Boost string algorithms library. Okay, split is there. So usages split. So split algorithms are an extension to the find iterator for one common usage scenario. They use a find iterator and store all matches into the provided container. So it must be able to hold copies or references of the extracted substrings. Two algorithms have provided: find all finds all copies of string on the input, split splits it into parts. So we've got this code here. Let's just steal that for now, and then we'll work out what's happening. So first off, all of this uses the using standard thing that we don't. So we're going to get an iterate. So this then goes a vector of iterator ranges of string iterators. Wow. Good evening, Voodoo. How are you doing? Hope you are well. We then get a find vector type, search for separators. Or we can do the split. So we're doing a split here. So vector of string is the split vector type. So let's say that we go standard vector of standard string. Split key value pairs, and then split. Where is split held? Thank you very much, Minxie Rose. Ah, Voodoo's working on interesting things. Excellent. So where is split kept? Split is kept in split.hpp, and it is just split. Okay, there's no. Let's have a look. String split HC. So it's boost in the boost header. Boost algorithm split, I suspect. Okay. Boost algorithm split, and we are splitting into key value pairs. Is any of oh, hang on, we want the string first, so that would be at a list. Then we want the predicate, which is any. No, where's that kept? So boost. Well, I wonder if just a string would work there, because that's all we're actually splitting on. And options. So this is. Let's just leave it like that, shall we, and see what happens. And then let's. Well, we could throw a debugger in there, actually, couldn't we? Have a look. So let me disable that breakpoint for now. Fire this up. Once it's all up and stable, I'll hit the breakpoint. That's telling me I've got an error. Where's my error? Term doesn't evaluate to a function taking one argument. I don't know what that means. Where are we looking? I don't get that. Let's go and have a look back at. Let's just see what is any of actually where that comes from. That's boost algorithm again. And see if that helps me. Does that say yay or nay? That's building. Okay. So let's just let the bot settle down, which it has. We'll re-enable that breakpoint, and if someone sticks something in chat for me, if you would be so kind. Or am I going to have to do it myself? No, someone's done it for me. Minxie Rose has done it. Voodoo, I'm going to take that on command off you. So key value pairs is size 14, and it has everything in that we wanted. Excellent. So that's the first split working. Now what we need to do is, for everything in that key value pair, do the result. I wonder if we can use an auto loop here. For auto KVP key value pairs. Aha, excellent. We have an iterator. So for anyone that hasn't seen this looping syntax, it is essentially the C++ equivalent of a for each. So you'd read this almost as a for each KVP and key value pairs. I think the alternative, the older style syntax for this would have been for. Now let me think about this. KVP equals key value pairs. Good night, Code and System Security. See you hopefully on Sunday. Voodoo 32 prefer const auto and ampersand. The old style syntax. I don't know if it's an older style syntax, but this is an alternative syntax. Key value pairs dot begin. Key value pairs dot. Well, I think you just do that actually. Key value pairs. It's something similar to that. I don't know, it might be dot move next or dot next or something like that. Either way, that's horrible looking, so we're just going to use the for auto loop. Save messing about with the iterator itself. So we're going to just do that because it's easier. And okay, yeah, Fuel Snable's got it. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten. It's yeah, it's for vector string const iter yada yada yada. It's long. In fact, I am just going to copy and paste what Fuel Snable's put there, just to show the big difference. Const iter whatever iterator. We used key value pairs. There. Oh look, we're off the end of the string. We're off the end of the screen already. So that, as interesting a technical exercise as it is, I can't imagine you'd see a huge amount of that. I'd imagine you'd see more. Yeah, I mean, Voodoo 32, you could just knock the auto. You could just do it as an auto. Or let's be reasonable and play about with grabbing references instead of copying values. So let's just grab the references. And yeah, auto is a lifesaver. There are times where, I mean, I don't like auto all the time. For the same reason I'm not a fan of it in F sharp and C sharp. Well, C sharp I'm fine with var. I like specifying my types where it's reasonable, but as you saw, that was getting long. This is so much easier to deal with. So KVP is a const auto address string, so it's the same kind of thing as we've got up here, really. In fact, would that work? It would, in fact, work, I believe. Codebase Alpha, auto kind of is var, yeah. Yeah, very much so. Okay, auto really is var then. Yeah, very much so. And to be fair, we might as well just use the auto there. You'd probably see it written like that more than as standard string. We know it's a string at this point. And now what we need to do is get a let's go elements there, and then we're going to do the same. We're going to resplit into elements. We're going to use KVP there, and we're saying, is it an equal sign? That then means that we can go results element front, yeah, because that's a string. Because we've only got 2 items in there anyway, I don't see why that wouldn't work. And now, in theory, we don't need to do that. We can just return the results. And I'll again disable that breakpoint for now. Let's see if we get all the keys and values out of here. So Hubblebot's online. If someone would like to, let me just do that quickly. Then if someone would like to stick a chat in. Codebase Alpha says, hello bot. TBD Gamer, I'm literally splitting into a vector which you could kind of see as an array. Your array then has, or it's an array, probably closer to an enumerable or something, but you can get a front and a back. So a vector is really an enumerable. You can get the first element or the last element. So it would be the C# first last, if you like, instead of front back. But looking in here, we get a lot of information. We get a display name, we get the badges, which again we're going to have to do splits to do other things there. To get the badge, there's also the badge info. So we can get, are you a VIP or whatever. We've got that, a good chunk of information actually, and we've just got that very, very simply with very minimal parsing. Now, is this really the right way of doing things? I don't know. I don't see why it wouldn't be, because that is declared there, destroyed there. I mean, do we want to pull... We could start going, well, let's pull that vector out. Why are we using boost, asks Voodoo32. Because I learnt, thanks to Fuel Snable and Co., that we don't have native string split in C++. And from what I've seen, boost is pretty commonly used. So I probably need to get out of my way of going, we're not using anything, and go and try boost out. Standard string split, does that really actually exist? See, standard string split, I assert, doesn't exist. Substra does. But what Substra does is it doesn't split so much as it just gets you a substring. So I'm sure we've used it. If I hop over to CPP reference or C++.com, that one will do. And I go, yeah, I did want to split. I didn't want to do substring. Substra. See, string substra is position and length, whereas I didn't want to do position and length. I wanted to literally split on an instance of a character. And yes, I'm aware that I could probably have gone and just used a character and used the substring, got the index of the characters, got the index of a few of them. We could have done the string stream thing. To be honest, at this point, boost seems to work. I mean, string stream split. What does that do? So using string stream to tokenize, well, to separate comma separated strings. So I mean, that's entirely doable, I think. That works as that. So string stream, you use standard get line. Again, I mean, I don't think it's not a terrible way to go, but I think boost at the moment seems to have a lot of support. I mean, how common is boost in C++? I mean, the initial release was 19 years ago. Game developers won't use the boost library, fair enough. Some people are asking why it's rarely used. Let's have a look. Question contains assumptions. It's a suite of libraries. So a lot of good night, Codebase Alpha. Hope all is good. Sleep well. So yeah, I mean, the first thing they're sort of saying here, that's an assumption, and I don't believe that to be true, as this person's already saying. There are issues in adoption, yet the documentation might not always be great. Build times are apparently a bit not great, but yeah, it doesn't seem to be that bad. I mean, one of the big things that is a plus for me in Boost, and they're putting as a negative, is that many of the popular parts of Boost are now part of C++ 11, C++ 14. So now people will use, threads, shared pointer, regex function, whatever, straight out of C++, but these came straight from Boost. So the fact that we haven't had to use Boost so far, I mean, to look at what we've done, we've used regex, yeah? That was originally Boosty stuff. That was originally Boost. So yeah, I think Fuel Snable's right here. Boost is essentially an experimental area for the C++ standard. I mean, did Chrono not come out of there? Thank you very much, Voodoo. To be honest, and this is something I don't want to harp on about, I don't really like talking about...
Our community grows.
Don't really like talking about high view accounts. Thank you very much, Serena Arg, for joining in. How are you this evening? I normally ask at this point who people are and where I know them from, but I know exactly where I know Serena from. Shared Pointer came out of Boost. Regex came out of Boost. Chrono looks like it probably came out of Boost. A lot of things look like they came out of Boost. Boost could almost be seen as an incubator for C++. Stick it in Boost, and if it takes off, stick it in the standard. Voodoo, can we just moderate what we're saying a little bit, please? Just kind of tone it down. They tried to do lambdas in Boost Lambda. But again, that happened before we got it across in the standard. Yeah, you say failed horribly, Fuel Snable, but it got in the standard after it was done in Boost. Yeah, it had to be language support, I agree. I don't understand how lambdas could work without being Boost. Voodoo, they're slow and dangerous, you're saying? Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that your opinions that shared pointer aren't particularly great are a bad thing. All I'm asking is to moderate the verbiage more than anything. Good night, TBD Gamer. Am I right in saying, Voodoo, just to remind me, shared pointer, that is a reference counted pointer? Am I reasonably correct there? Whereas a unique pointer is obviously unique, and then a weak pointer is whatever. It's just a weak pointer. Yeah, that's a really bad way of saying it. They tried to implement Lambda as a library only. That didn't work out, so the language had to be extended. We don't need to get into the big sort of parts of what Boost is, of what shared pointers are. But yeah, some people like them, some don't. It's like the whole do people like sequences, do people like lists in .NET. I think it's an interesting discussion to have, but let's frame it as a which is best for which scenario rather than a sort of, a big sort of hammer to it all. I mean, how did Boost Lambdas ever work? Now I'm intrigued. Boost Lambda. Let's have a look at them. The Boost C++ libraries, Boost Lambda. So Boost Lambda 1. What is that? And it's got the standard for each in. Oh wow. And what even is that lambda? So Boost Lambda is 1 is a placeholder that creates a lambda function that expects one parameter. Okay. Wow, there's a Boost Lambda if then. Oh my word. Wow. pattern matching on partial templates. Okay, I can see why they tried it. It was an interesting, fun experience a fun, interesting thing to see. I can't say that I'm entirely convinced that this is a clever idea, but okay. Standard for each is pretty good for algorithms. Yeah, I go with that. It's the whole lambda in Boost. I can see what they're trying to do. It just looks weird. I mean, standard for each, before the whole before you got that syntax working anywhere near reliably, I can see why standard for each was a cool thing. You know, especially, I mean, you know, for each, and then what we're saying, first, last, and a function. So what we're saying, key value pairs dot begin, key value pairs dot end, and then a function template, a function, which, let's face it, we would hope at this point you could do it as KVP, and then whatever we were doing before there. Yeah, you know, I can see that potentially working. And then you could just actually, because I've put the capture in the right place, you could do that. No operator matches that command. Okay, so apparently I can't just add to that result there with the map. Well, that's a little irritating. But you know, I mean, that does kind of work. Thing is, now that we don't have to use that, let's not bother. That would work, yeah. We need to do it by reference. I mean, that works. I suspect that that will give us the same result as that. I also know which I prefer to read. But to have that first, before this comes about, I think it's a wonderful way of doing it. Oh yeah, and the consts and all that. You know, again, const that, there with that. That's a lot of work. I mean, again, we're going off the edge of the screen, and again, with the bottom one, we're not. So let's not do that. And the boost split, I'm going to say we'll keep boost in for now. I am slightly annoyed that we're keeping boost in for one and only one thing. But I'm not even sure that this is not a bad idea. Yeah, lambdas didn't exist, so yeah, of course you'd then use you'd implement a functor object or something like that. Yeah. I mean, do we use string streams here? So shall we give this a go? I don't see why we can't do this and get rid of boost for now. Shall we give it a go? Shall we try and get rid of boost? Do you know what? Let's save that for another time. You use standard find. So standard find goes. Oh, it finds, yeah, finds the index, get the substring, and all the rest of it. So find begin, end, and an item. So can we call find multiple times? So when we're talking about find, yeah, we can, obviously we can, because we don't put the begin there. Yeah, that's an idea. What I'll say is, for now, we do at least have a way of doing something here. So let's grab out. I mean, how do we see if someone's a mod? So user type. User type will either equal mod or be empty. So let's make a command mod only for now, shall we? So if the bot command is horn and where are we looking? Attributes. User type equals mod. Then do that. So now, if I fire up the bot, we've got nothing enabled. So in theory, the horn command should be mod only. So Hubblebot's online. So if anyone else tries the horn command, I suspect that this won't work. If Minxie Rose is kind enough to do it for me, it should. So, does someone who isn't Minxie Rose first? Right, Minxie Rose it worked for. So, we've obviously got the 30-second timeout. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the bot and spin it up again. So, Minxie Rose, don't hit the horn, please. Anyone else, have a go at the horn. Go on, Voodoo32, have a go at it. See if it works. If it works, then I shouldn't hear the horn. If it doesn't work, you get to honk the horn. No, do it. I'm not tempting you, Voodoo32. I'm explicitly asking you to do it. And there we go, no horn sound. So we can now very easily limit the bot so that only mods can do certain things. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's just for now, I'm going to add one more command in because I want it. I should be able to use it. I think I'm mod. We'll find out in a second. Raid call. And let's check. Let's say that only mods can issue the raid call. Raid call doesn't need arguments. That's fine. So, copy that. 1, 2, 3 of those. Yappy Dog Rails? Yappy Dog Raid. My English typing is apparently as good as my as my English speaking. So I'll fire the bot up. And yeah, well, I like your secret project, Voodoo32. Tell you what, get streaming it. Get on stream. You'll enjoy it. So if I do a raid call now, then Hubblebot should reply with something like, I am apparently not a mod in my own channel. My user type comes out as not mod. My badge is broadcaster, so maybe I need to check for the broadcaster badge. Maybe we need to check the badges. Go on, Minxie Rose, try for the raid call. Stick as a raid call in chat, see if the bot subscription works. Bang raid call, and bot says no. maybe it needs to be, okay, maybe we're expecting something there that we don't get. Or attributes, what are we saying it was? It was badges, needs to just contain it really, or start with or something. Dot. Well, let's try a find. Broadcaster. Okay, so that should allow me to do the raid call as well as Minxie Rose when we fire the bot back up. So, bot online, cool, raid call there. And it says no to me. Minxie Rose, do me a favour. If you would be so kind, please. Okay, so it'll let mods, but not me do it yet. Okay, that's fine. We can do things with that. Anyway, to be fair, that one's a bit silly because I don't mind anyone. Oh, hang on. I can't Visual Studio, can I? That's better. So let me send a few messages actually. Or let's not. Let's do this the sensible way. Minxie Rose is sending me things as whispers, and I think she's sending me good ideas. Actually, no, I don't think. I'd like to, but probably not. And anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about right now, because that's a whisper from Minxie Rose, good. You don't need to. Subscribers, please use the following raid call. And non-subscribers it's just going to be probably that repeated a couple of times, isn't it, really? So if I now stick that in, hopefully I've not completely goofed, and if I go raid call, and it's just said no to me, hasn't it? With unknown commands. Yeah, okay, we're not allowed the new lines. Yeah, that won't work, Minxie Rose. I've set it up so that it'll now let anyone do it. I might just have to make the bot send separate messages, which I'm not sure is a clever idea here. But let's respin the bot. Do we get edit and continue in C++? I don't think we do we? Okay, so we can get that. Let me do this as separate send messages. Alt drag that. So then that then goes like that. That can go in there, and that one there. So essentially we're sending 4 messages out on the trot. Not sure how much I like the idea, but let's see what Hubblebot does when we do that. Hubblebot's now online. That's better. I think that's the best we can do with that command. Which means we need to be looking at adding extra new lines in here and having it do that, having it send these separate messages. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Anyway, we do at least now have a way where only a moderator can use the horn command, as has been known to be demonstrated. We could also go else, I don't know, send message that says bang horn in cooldown please wait some amount of seconds, and of course we need to work out what that number is. Well, auto time last used equals that. What type has that come out as? That's come out as, well, either way, that's last used. Last used is a, oh, we're not getting told, are we? What was last horn? What have we just said? It's equal to clock.now. What is last? What type is last one? Oh, it's a time point of system clock. Yeah. Okay. Auto waiting time equals that. We'll subtract last use. It shouldn't be called last use, should it? Last use, used so many seconds ago. And then we go waiting time dot, oh, I don't know, something else. I will do after the stream, Voodoo. I don't really check the Discord on stream. Can I get, what is waiting time? Waiting time is a time point, isn't it? Represents a point in time implemented if it stores a value of type duration, including indicating the time interval from the start of the clock's epoch. Which would mean that it should... Oh, it can be rounded. Oh, we can do a cast on it, can we? Alright. Wow, that's wordy. Wow, that's wordy. Okay, I mean, we can go with it. And scroll down. We want seconds there. Duration cast, that would be cut that, we'll go there. Dot count is that, which can just go there. Yeah, we can't just turn that into a... What does that count return? Given that it's a streamable, can we... How do we turn a stream back into a string? Because it looks like that's something that we're going to have to do here. So we've done the duration cast part of it. And it's got the to stream and from stream on it. We know that much as well, don't we? So, and we've got the shove operators on it. So, can we from that convert it to, well, what's count? Count returns the number of ticks. That returns, what is rep? What is that type? Okay, so duration can take two things. Duration takes a rep and a period. Okay, this is interesting. So count returns the rep of whatever it is, that type. Gosh, this is wordy. Okay, so seconds is a duration of the signed integer type. So is that just castable? Can we go okay, convert string stream to string. Oh, dotstra. Okay, well, given that is already a stream type anyway. No, it doesn't seem to exist. Waiting time has to be oh gosh. String stream. Or is that standard? string stream of that. Then we shove that through there. Shove that through there. That whole thing then needs to be a string, doesn't it? Copy. We'll cut that. Auto stream equals that. Oh no, hang on. Incomplete type is not allowed. Why? Is string stream something more interesting than that? Basic string stream. Oh. Yeah, that's there. Standard O string stream? Standard string stream? Yeah, standard string stream should be fine. So what's it moaning at? Incomplete type is not allowed. People have already seen it as string stream. Okay, cool. You have to include S-stream. Okay, we can do the thing. And now it doesn't seem to be moaning at all, which is interesting because that now means I need to... Okay, so we're getting the moan and it's literally just stream dot str. So, if we now reboot the bot, James Does Games, you can't even figure out how to compare a char array. EXIT, if input equals print true, and it doesn't seem to. That's interesting. Yeah, I was going to say strcmp is the answer there, I think. Minxie Rose, do me a favour. Hit the horn and then hit the horn again, please. So, one almost straight after the other. Thank you. Now do it again as quick as you can, please. Yes! The cooldown's working. Cool. That was what I wanted to test. Another thing, James Does Games, don't forget char input 10 is EXIT and then 6 more bytes after there. Let me draw a diagram and sort of I can do an explaining here. Because I think I know why what you're doing doesn't seem to want to work. You've got an array there, EXIT, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and A, or whatever. That is your 10 element array. And that's, let's say that's what input is. And then same array again. Well, same thing, same kind of thing again. And you've declared a new one, which is EXIT. So far I agree with you. But let's say that that's that. All of these from here on in were already in RAM. And this is why a C string will end with a null character. So if you then went \0 and \0 and did string comp, it'd go for that one first, then that one, then that one, then that one, and then it'd go, oh look, null terminator. And it wouldn't look at any of the rest of that. So that's one issue you've potentially got. I'm hoping that I've described that reasonably right. I could have got it wrong, but that's one reason that might not work. Also, don't forget C strings are null terminated. So what you really want to do if you're assigning character by character is go Oh, actually, why don't I just go into Visual Studio and we'll do it in main. So we'll go, what you're suggesting is this code here. If I stick this in and reformat it ever so slightly. So you've got this code here. Yeah? I think I've just said something completely wrong. I think I've just worked out what it is. Let's stick a breakpoint in and explain it. That was one issue. I don't actually think, on set and look on the code, I don't think that was the issue. I think that it's comparing pointers. So we've got input is, let me go to my watch window. Why is my watch window down there? Why don't we stick it there? So input is that, comp is that. Oh, so the values are the same. So input equals comp is false. Ah, right, yeah, I can see it now. So see these values. 261 E8 Fe2 C8 and then 2F8. So they're not different sizes. They are in different memory locations. So if I bring up the memory window and I go, well, you'll see that address is that we're going to is, oh, hang on. Why not just drag that there? So you'll see exit there at that address, yeah? Which is at that address. And comp is that address there, EXIT there. So it's not that you need to compare pointers. What you are doing is you are comparing pointers. So you are asking, if input double equals comp there, that means do input and comp point to the same address in memory? So what happens if we use the stars? So if we dereference both of those, what we're saying is that's the value at input and the value at comp. And I now would say that you'd get a printf that the printf true would kick off. And indeed it did. But what you've done is gone star input is that E, star comp is also an E. So you've compared the first character, and I can demonstrate that because if we stop this, and again, let's set the breakpoint there. So if it hits this breakpoint, it's true, otherwise it isn't. And if I put a V there, that will still come out as true because the first character has been the same. Okay, So let's put an X back there and say strcmp input comp. Okay, so if they compare, I can't remember which way down this will go. Okay, so strcmp input and comp, let's just run that quickly. That returns 0. Now, if we go and change one of those, that will probably return something that isn't a 0. Because they're different, so that's a 1, so one's bigger than the other. I suspect if that goes to, instead of a V goes to a Z, it'll be something like a -1. If I'm remembering what strcmp does, and indeed that's -1. So it's saying, strcmp is telling you -1, 0 or 1 for which one is bigger, or 0 for them being the same. So you're actually looking at a not there and an X there for that to go into true. However, what you'll notice is we're in debug mode. So we'll hit the debugger, and this will be true, and it will be true because we've been very nice and zeroed out memory. Now, will release mode do the same? Now, I don't know this initializer syntax. I suspect it might. But let's go into release mode and hit the debugger again. And there are errors. Do I want to continue and run? Okay, can't open source file there. What's it saying to me? Can we install using that? VC package. Oh, we've got a package manager. That's cool. Anyway, let's not bother about that at the moment. Let's go and do the include things for release mode. So let's include directories, edit. I do know that this will also be boost root. Just to make sure we've got that. I'm glad we caught that reasonably early. So hit the debugger again. Oh, we've still apparently got errors. What's our error now? What's it moaning about? Oh yeah, because of the builds. I need to do something in here about compilations. Include string. We've already got string included somewhere. Yeah, we've got string included. This is more a me thing than anything. Where is it? Where's my... I haven't really done anything with... oh, gosh. Preprocessor definitions. We need that in there as well. This is just because the preprocessor will have me if we don't. So back in here. We're again printfing true. Now if we go to this spot of memory... Okay, so it does put the zeros in for us at the end. No, you don't want to compare address of input and address of comp. In fact, let's show what they are. So input, as we can see, is that character array. If we go address of input, then what we've actually done, what does that actually point to? That's... Oh, hang on. Pointing to that. I mean, in this instance, input and comp do look like they're pointing to the same place. Why has that even worked? That surprises me. But again, you know, that's again coming out false. The big thing you want to do is use string comparisons. But in C, all strings should be null terminated, which is where the \0 comes from. So what you're doing is implicitly null terminating by going elements 0 to 3 are those, and then everything else is a 0. Remember that in C, your string should...
Rank up. Hold the line. This hamlet shall not fall.
This hamlet shall not fall indeed. Thank you very much, Mr. Robert Tables. In with that huge raid. Thank you very much. Hello to all of Robert Tables' viewers. Okay, so time for the spiel, I think. Let me know when everyone stopped seeing adverts. I think we're getting plenty of raids. We're getting plenty of ship eats and hex. The hex ship is brilliant. That needs to exist in everywhere. So, for those who don't know me, my name's Gareth Hubble. I stream here on Twitch, doing mainly F# programming, sometimes C++, working on the bot. At the moment, we're looking at some C code that someone's put in chat to try and help them out and understand a bit more about pointers and strings in C. Thank you very much for watching Robert Tables. I hope your stream's gone well, Mr. Robert Tables. We stream mainly on a Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday evenings at around this time. We'd have normally finished by now. This has gone on quite a while, actually. And if you wish to stick around, that's wonderful, thank you. If not, I understand. Go and get yourself some dinner or whatever time it is, wherever you are. And enjoy. Thank you very much for coming round. Feel free to follow. Just remember, we are family friendly in this stream. Well, I say family friendly. I say we're family friendly and I start dealing with pointers. Does that answer your question, James? About sort of strings and whatever in C? Because we can now go back. Let's get that lot out of there. Yeah, use strings.
Our community grows.
Thank you very much, CMJ Chris Jones. Thank you for that follow. Yeah, use strcmp is what I would do, James. And I would tend to declare your strings using sort of this kind of syntax. String in C, char star str equals, well, you went exit like that. I don't think you need the 0. Yeah, I think it'll null terminate for you if you do that. Oh yeah, because we're in ++, we do that. Okay, so C does have kind of support.
Community grows.
Yeah, it null terminates automatically. Thank you very much, .commy, for the follow. And yeah, we use standard string here because we're in C++, but in C you would do that. Right, so we're doing an IRC bot. At the moment, we've been dealing with trying to get information out so that we can make sure that only our mods can call certain commands, which we've successfully done. BSTR flashbacks. Actually, hang on, I've got more drink here. Let me pour myself some Diet Cola. By the way, Diet Cola manufacturers, I am not entirely loyal. If people wish to support me and supply me with Diet Cola of your choice, as long as it's sugar-free for my diabetic reasons, then I can be bought.
Our community grows.
I can also be bought by many various other suppliers of things. Thank you very much, Mezeroulis, for the follow. Yeah, Robert Tables. Until tonight, I could claim that this were a bot in C++ without using any other libraries. I have now relented. I am prepared to use Boost. Boost is only being used for the split. There. In essence, we could pull Boost out and write our own string splitter. To be honest, though, looking at at least the compile time, it's taking no real time at all to do that. And yay, the bots decided not to work for a change.
Our community grows.
Thank you, L4MeASS. You could use Boost Spirit instead of Regex. I need to look up Boost Spirit, don't I? I also need to know why my bots decided it doesn't want to work this time. Let's see if that was just a one. Oh, what have we broke? What have I broken, people? What have I broken? Because something here is not working like it used to. Let's go to before we had all of that put in. Oh, we're in release mode, aren't we? And in release mode, I don't have certain paths set up, so supersecret.txt doesn't open. Let's now go back to debug mode, and the bot will work perfectly fine. So Hubblebot is online. And we can get random numbers out of it. Now, for all of those that question how random this number is, please do try the !random command, and I will assert that you will get a perfectly random number. That random number will be 4. For those who are unaware of the joke, there's an XKCD comic about it. Let me do an XKCD. XKCD random number. So, in case anyone wants to see a random number, I'll post this in chat. But yeah, the number 4 was apparently chosen by a fair dice roll and is guaranteed to be random. So yes, and yeah, obviously there's a joke there. Hello there, Jitter Ted. How are you doing? Can we have a shout out for Jitter Ted in chat, please, and thank you. Hello, Ancient Coda. How are you doing? If I missed anybody else sneaking in and being all ninja, Pick9117, thank you very much for coming in. Jitter Ted has also asked for a random number and rolled a 4. That's very interesting. Boost Spirit is still a thing. Well.
Our community grows.
Thank you very much for that follow, James Does Games. Welcome in and have yourself a drink and listen to the Yappy Dogs. Boost Spirit. Boost Spirit. So that is still apparently a thing. Hang on, are we writing parsers? Are we writing parsers? Oh, I can see where this goes. Fuel Snable, have you just nerd sniped me? You have, haven't you? Oh, this looks fun. This looks like something I could enjoy here. Oh, I'm going to have to read up on this, aren't I? Oh, you've got me excited now, Fuel Snable. No fair. That's mean. I mean, brilliant, but mean. Actually, that's a point. This is the last time that we will all be together before the weekend's out. Well, we'll be together on Sunday night. Anyone got any good plans for tomorrow and for the weekend? Anyone got anything fun that they're on? Anything more fun than writing bot? Anyway, we now have a way for mods, and apparently only mods, to add to run certain commands. So the horn command is now mod only, which for now I'm quite happy with actually. We've got the cooldown on it. Minxie Rose is going home and gaming for Pits. Yes, I am also going to be watching a lot of gaming for Pits. I will definitely be watching Old Man Sethus as he struggles to play games. Jitter Ted skipping your stream and seeing the Avengers. Now, I'm not a superhero film fan, so I will stream. I will not be seeing the Avengers. Well, one thing I was wondering about doing was stripping Boost out of this bot. But now that Boost has given us a way to use a parser and potentially get rid of that line there, 65, that's a horrible line. Nobody can ever claim that that is a nice line, is it? I mean, that makes Perl look readable. To make the standard joke. Yeah, as just said, we always end up doing writing using parsers when doing bots. Yeah, there is a boost optional. Fuel stable. Is there not a standard optional now? No. In which case, I know there's a boost one. There's gotta be. Yeah, boost optional exists. Boost standard optional is there. It's in its own header file. Yeah. And then, of course, you can go. Standard has no optional. Why do I apparently not have optional there? Is this one of these where VS doesn't seem to exist? There is variant, which is a discriminated union. If I'm not mistaken, that's made it through to standard as well, Fuel Snable. Oh yeah, you need template arg. Unfortunately, it's looking like we don't get that. Yeah, we're not in C++17, are we?
More shall gather. More shall enter the fray.
Thank you very much, Lucky Number 7, for that host. Can we have a shout out for Lucky Number 7, please, and thank you? So we either don't have 17 or we're not compiling in 17 mode. How do I go to C++? Warning level 3, STL checks. Yeah, CXX17 is not defined. Which would make me believe that we're probably not in C++ language standard. Let's just suggest that we're going to go for, at the very least, that. And see if that changes anything. Monostate is basically unit, yeah. Don't worry, Seven. I hope you've had a good stream. Hopefully your cough gets better soon. Yeah, we compile now in 17 mode. That's better. Hammered, yes, C++17. So we're there now. Cool. So we get variant and monostate. And at this point, I would say that std optional of that should also work. If we change that to optional. Hello. Yeah, that has worked. Just that the IntelliSense is being slow for me. James Does Game. Do yourself a favour, change condition to EVIT or something and see if it still if input still equals condition, because I'm not sure that I think it still will. I think you're still only comparing the first letter. I'm not 100% sure. Let's give it a quick go. Why not? We can quickly do this. So what we're saying is char star input equals exit char star, not chart star. That's exactly what we're doing, Robert Tables. We are doing it live. We're doing the thing. Char star of condition equals exit as well. Obviously, we are in C++ mode here, so, and all modern, so const and const need to go in, and condition. Hemmer doesn't think that const char array decays to char star. I was going to say in C-land I think you can do it. We're not there. James Does Games, it's strcmp. There's no O in it. So that shouldn't. That's probably why you can't find it. And yes, I know we're in C++, but okay, so that will kick off. That will say true. And we'll get into there. And I agree, it does. But my question is, if I do that, I still think that we'll get that breakpoint hit. And we don't. Okay, so at least in the C++ world, that's not happened. Input and condition. And that's probably, that might be a different thing in C and C++. I don't know. I mean, like I say, we're in C++ land here. And yeah, I think Fuel Snail was right. We're comparing pointers again. Right, so we've got a way of getting these attributes out. We've got the message that's been sent in chat. We could almost have a utility function that just goes isMod or whatever and pass in that map. So let's do a quick type def. In modern C++, is this still a thing? Do we still go?
More shall gather. More shall enter the fray.
Thank you very much for that, host JitterTed. Would people still tend to do this kind of thing in C++? I don't know if we're using the correct thing or if this should be snake cased. And then go, well, actually, that's now one of those, that's one of those. I think a bit of type aliasing never hurts the job. Fuel Stable's looking forward to the stream where I go crazy with standard enable if, standard void t, and variadic templates. Type def is C. Would we still do type aliasing though? Using user equals that. And is there a real difference in the type def and the using syntax there? Is that just a stylistic thing between C and C++, or is there some real difference behind the scenes? JitterTed, what I've done with my auto host is I'm only hosting people within the Live Coders team and people who I know are programmers. That doesn't mean that it always works. I know some people in the Live Coders stream do other things as well. At the moment, I'm not one of them. Ah, the difference is when I do function types, is it?
Our community grows.
Thank you very much, Rala Java. Yeah, I get that. I've had the same there, just said. I mean, I used to game on stream. I now only program on stream. There might be occasions where I might start gaming. I'm not sure yet. Some template stuff can only be done with using, maybe. It is. If that's how we're supposed to do it, that's how we'll do it. For those new to the stream, as you can tell, I'm a complete beginner with C++. I have a minuscule amount of C experience from when I was at university years ago, and probably was taught even older techniques than were around then anyway. So I'm not up to date on this. This bot is me trying to learn some C++. So what I'm wondering if I can do is something like no. I mean, I can. This is already going to get pulled out into an object. I can already see it, but let's not yet. Let's go for bool is mod. We only need this by reference, don't we? Fuel Snavel. Yeah, you've seen me use Snake Case. I don't know with C++ what the usual standards are for Snake Case, Pascal casing, and Camel casing are. If anyone knows of a reasonably well accepted style guide in C++, do let me know. Other than that, I'm not entirely sure. In fact, let's have a look at Google's. Well, Google are claiming that their code is C++ 11 only. Okay, well that's a bit bad. Super Snake casing, I don't know what that is. Is there a reasonable... Okay, right. There's a Reddit on this, so we can look at everything. ISO CPP. Well, that's more reasonable. Just because it's core. Background scope and all of that. Okay. Core guidelines. All I want really is capitalization stuff. So functions, okay, we know what they should do. Boost style. Parameter passing. I want to see capitalization rules. Really, at the moment, all I'm that bothered about is capitalization. Just because so capitalizing class names, I agree with that much. Aha, naming styles. So Straustrup style is ISO standard, which is snake case, but with uppercase used for your own types and concepts. Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna say snake case. Let's do a quick thing. Let's We've got a bit of time, so this should now, under these rules, that should be bot command like that. Attributes 4 again would become attributes 4 like that. Is mod would become is mod, or actually moderator is probably better there. Standard string, well, OAuth token, that is staying capitalized. It doesn't need to, does it? We can go OAuth token like that. How's this looking, everyone? Are people thinking that that's reasonable? Twitch socket, now what are they saying there? My map like that. I'm not convinced I like that. I'm not convinced I like this necessarily. I might stick with classes like that of my own. I mean, ISO standard should say that we do snake case there. Actually, everything else seems to be snake casing it, so I don't see why we should be a special snowflake case there. Go Twitch socket. And of course, now we need to. I'd have thought that that would have all come out in the wash with Twitch socket.h there as well. Yeah, it has. So I don't know what's gone on there. Okay, fair enough. So send message again would be there. Do you know, this is straight Visual Studio 2019 Fuel Snable. This is VS 2019 actually doing what, well, kind of what it should. I mean, that's where it's just gone wrong. So it doesn't always work. Wow, that really hasn't always worked. Normal service, ladies and gentlemen, has been resumed here. There we are. I knew that wasn't always going to work. Tap on INO. I'm sorry, I really can't pronounce that. Would you mind if I just called you Tap or gave me a little hint on how I'm supposed to pronounce that one? What do I think of people who say that writing any code in C++ instead of Rust nowadays are irresponsible? I disagree. I like Rust. I've used Rust. I like C++ from what I'm seeing of it now. I'm only learning C++ now, really. But frankly, you will notice that nowhere along here have I used malloc or free. I'm using features that I believe to be safe, memory-wise. I think for someone to claim that one language is more responsible than another is... do the people who are... Because I used to be one of those people, Tap, just to let you know, I used to be one of those people who said that. And... I didn't know C++. I'd wonder if they've seen C++ kind of the newer variants of the newer versions. I'm not 100% sure if you know. I think you need to make sure that you know what you're talking about first. Henry, why do I use a standard string pointer? Args. That is because I am passing through. Yeah, I'm sticking the arguments into there. So that is essentially being used as an out parameter. Yeah, I'm with JitterTed on that. Fuel stable is just being a troll. Excellent. Could just use a non-const reference. You mean just do that? And then update there and there. That would work, I suspect. Type ampersand is a reference. Oh, yeah. So it needs to be. So we're saying pass a reference. See, I always thought that ampersand was address of. So I'm not quite sure I'm fully understanding this passing a reference that way and passing a pointer and what the difference is. Honestly, what the difference is hugely between a reference. What's the difference between passing the reference and passing the pointer? Again, I'm not aware of a lot of stuff, so I'm going to ask a lot of silly questions on this stream. So anyone else who thinks they're asking daft questions, I've probably asked dafter, don't worry. If I use it as if I use it before a name, then yeah, it is a address of. So it's an overloaded thing, essentially. James, you've been asking good questions. I've learned a lot from them. There's a slight benefit with pointers if you use that as a convention to use pointers to indicate output parameters. And then you see it in the call site. Yeah, because at the moment, that doesn't look like an output parameter. That now looks like an input parameter. Whereas if I pass the address through, that tells me personally that I am passing a yeah, and that tells me now that I am passing an address through. That pretty much explicitly says that that's going to be an output parameter to me. So I think I'm going to leave it there. Yeah. So before an L value that's a named variable, so that is address of because it's before an L value that's a named variable. Whereas up here, it's a reference because it's in the type declaration. So it's a constant. So how I would read that is a constant string reference. Is that roughly what it was saying? So that's a string reference that I can't do anything to. Whereas without the const, I can do things to it. So it's essentially a mutable string reference. Is that also reasonable? Am I starting to understand C++ a little bit? Fuel stable, I would say that standard string double ampersand x is probably true. Well, it's probably the value of x. R value, says Hermit. R value reference. Right, I don't know this. Yeah, Fuel Snable, it's late for me as well. This stream's been going on a few hours. Oh gosh. No. We're not talking GL values and X values and all the other values. Let's not do that. Let's just say that we're going to do this is moderator function because, quite frankly, I think it should have a helper because I should be able to do is moderator attributes and then go up to here and do this. We could do that. I mean, I could be really cruel at this point and go auto is mod equals and why is this all of a sudden said no to me? That's interesting. So in the Lambda, I can't do this. JitterTed, Visual Studio supports refactoring in C++ in a very, very shoddily method. Now, C++ being C++, just because something is const doesn't mean you can't modify it. Yeah, of course. Why would it? But attributes all of a sudden doesn't have... I'm not apparently allowed to do that. So why in the... Oh, hang on. That's moaning as well. So why am I not allowed to do this? I'm not modifying it, though. Oh, bother. I've just read into that. I've watched a video on this the other day. Yes, I am modifying it, aren't I? Oh, how do I explain this one away? Yeah, it inserts when it doesn't exist, so I can't actually declare that as const, even though that's my intention. Right, how do we get out of that? And yeah, I think Fuel Stable's right here. So use find. And what does find do there? Because you're right, it should be const. I mean, let's get rid of the lambda, because we know we can do lambda. We can do that real easily. We know that the lambda works. That was what I was showing. So what does find actually do? Find returns a const iterator, it's no discard. Okay, cool. So it returns the iterator. Hemert, I think we're now in C++ 17. Find returns the iterator. Okay. So auto iter equals that. If oh gosh, you can do this, can you? Hang on. What are we doing? So if auto it equals that, it is not attributes.end, then iter is the pointer to the iter is the item. So return that. Oh, hang on, that's the item, isn't it? So that's the pair. We need to go it. Yeah, but that won't equal mod because it's actually the pair, isn't it? So what we actually need to do is it's a map. So we need to get the second thing out of it. As shown. Well, and save. So its second is a standard string. So yeah, That's exactly it. Now that's handy because what we've just done by putting the const in there, and my first instinct, by the way, I know was completely wrong. We've just stopped a nasty bug. Yes, of course, we do need a return false at the end, don't we? We don't need the else. But yeah, what we've done there is avoided a potentially very nasty bug where we insert something. I mean, here we intend to do the insert, but the way we were doing it before with attributes and the square bracket operator, yeah, it initializes if it isn't there, it doesn't throw. So you have to be very careful with that, which is why const was throwing the error. And obviously my first instinct, even after knowing that this was the wrong thing to do, was to remove const. And no, const is correct. We do intend for this never to be changed. So we had to work around it. And we had to do it the proper way. I'm rather reasonably proud of that we've done it. Do you know what? It's been a long one, and we've got quite a decent amount of stuff done here, haven't we? What is this bot going to do? Hemit, at the moment, it's a bit dumb. So, it has a horn command for moderators, which when a mod types !horn, as if you give me a second and I'll run the bot up. Because then if Minxie Rose is still about the place, she can do it for me. Once it says it's online. So yeah, we've got a bot online. So if Minxie Rose, being the only other moderator in this channel, goes !horn, it will play a horn over my speakers and yours. And that's there for if, let's say, chat is... Thank you, Minxie Rose. So if, say, if chat's covering... anything that I'm looking at, or if I'm on, say, this scene talking about what's on the screen, the whole Minxie Rose or any other moderator, if I have other mods at some point, can inform me and basically shout at me. So that's one thing it can do. Another command it's got is random just for now. It's got a few very simple sort of quick commands to say hi and I don't know, say bye for now, and I can issue the raid call and ask for a random number. Hemit, how do I do my random? Right, random number is a random number. Now, what I've done, I haven't still got it up. I've used that algorithm for a random number. Yeah, it's a joke one. It's not a genuine... Yeah, it's... Yeah, I did that. That was... I was at some point going to implement random number functionality for dice rolls and whatever, but do you know what? I think it's funnier now just to leave it at that. You use that... here we go, chrono. Wow. So empty randoms, empty random get real. Wow, that looks impressive. There are decent random number generators in the C++ standard. No, not rand. No, I know that you didn't mean rand there, Fjord Snable, by the fact that you used the word decent. Static and multi-threaded. Yeah, I haven't got to threads in C++. Yeah, no, we haven't. We decided not to play with threads yet. So I have to kill the bot in a horrible way. Which is a bit of a shame, but hey-ho. So yeah, that's the random number generator I'm working. It's ridiculously... I mean, obviously, you've got a load of consts and things spread about the place just to make it easy. Well, no, I haven't. I actually inlined it manually. That is my manual inline of that function. just because it was there and doable. Yeah, I don't know these things, to be honest, Emmett. In essence, this bot was really made not so much to do a job, but more because I wanted to learn C++, and hey, the IRC standard is reasonably simple to implement. Hello, Stacking, how are you? That random number generator was legit pulled from the PS3. Not sure if trolling or if that's actually a fun fact. I'm hoping that's a fun fact because I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's true. We're not trolling. That's excellent. Oh, I like that. You made a bot to learn C++ and used ASIO for sockets, though. Hamet, I might be tempted to move to boost sockets. Until tonight, until we did literally this bit of code, not that bit, sorry, until implementing the moderator stuff, I did not have anything other than standard libraries on here. So I was using Windows.h for the sockets and all the rest of it. Now that we've got Boost online, I might look at porting the sockets and trying to make this a cross-platform bot. Trying to make this so I can build it easily on Windows, Linux, Mac, and all the rest of it, and maybe even run the bot off a different machine to this. You didn't use an IRC thing. Yeah, no, I didn't use an IRC thing either. I literally did that. I did nasty horribleness. But yeah, like I say, up until tonight, I didn't even have Boost installed. So I was literally going through the zero libraries route. And now that I've got Boost on, I might just start making use of it. So you use... yes, you go for an IRC message, you're parsing it. Yeah, you see, I want to write some form of parsing for mine as well. And there's... Oh, yes. I recognise that line of code. I really do recognise that line of code. I think we've got something very, very similar at that point. And then, yeah, you're pushing the tag. You're doing tag pushbacks. I think you're doing things a little bit more elegantly than I am. And you're actually working out what the tags are as they come in. Whereas I'm just throwing it all into a map and going, yeah, we'll deal with it later. Which is probably the wrong approach, but it'll do for now. It's interesting to see other people's, how everyone uses C++, how everyone codes. When am I doing a Boost metaprogramming stream? Please tell me that wasn't aimed at me, Fuel Snable. But yeah, I think now that we've got Boost online, one thing I'm looking at playing with is Boost Spirit. I do like the idea of now writing a parser using the using this. Oh, writing generators, writing lexical analyzer. Oh, this just looks like fun. Oh, this looks like fun times. For the new C++ 14 version, there's a Spirit.x3. Oh, hello. So we can now parse things otherwise. So cookbook style approach, yeah. Trivial examples, parsing numbers, parsing comment at limited sets of numbers. This could be
Our community grows.
Thank you for that follow, Tapper. I'm never going to pronounce that right, am I? You like maps as well, do you? Oh yeah, I see what that map is. That's your command, is it? And you can add commands. Yeah, I'm doing an add command to delete. I think we're almost doing quite similar things in the bots here, to be fair. I mean, my whole reason for adding the moderator, for trying to look at who's a mod, who isn't, and all the rest of it, is because I want to only let, let's say, moderators add commands, that kind of thing. You also implemented basic command structure and your own basic command structure language. Nice. You've definitely gone a lot.
Our community grows.
Thank you very much for that follow, Hermit. You've gone a lot further than I'm doing. And you seem to know C++ a lot more than me. Yeah. Yeah, there are some features there I recognise. Oh, setting time zones and things. You've got a lot of interesting stuff in there. We'll have to. There will have to be a lot of stuff. Writing return type on its own line. Do you know what, Fuel Snable? I've seen a few people do that in the past. And again, I'm actually very tempted to do that as well. I do like that. I mean, for some method, in main, that's probably a bit taking it too far. But yeah, the return type on its own line, that actually looks quite nice. And yeah, with templates, I can imagine that being quite nice, because obviously, you know, that then becomes viable. Let's just to sort of gild the lily, let's do it not in the .h file. Wow, this is a fair .h file. Wow. Send and receive, connect. Well, let's at least do these in some sort of order. So we can go connect. Why is that indented to there? Why are they not there? So connect, send, receive. Surely the constructor should be higher up than that. And then we'll delete we're doing those deletes, and then the send channel. Okay. So all the send stuff goes there, the receive goes there. That's probably a little bit more sensible. What's this moaning about now? Wants a extra closing. Have I messed something up here? What's this moaning about? Identify user attributes is undefined. I think you'll find it isn't. Thank you. James Does Games. Coming from C#, is there a particular reason that you're using C instead of C++? I only ask because C++ is a lot closer to C# than people think, but it does look like most of what you're doing is straight C. And then, yeah. Raspberry Pi. If you're using a Raspberry Pi, you could use, well, to be fair, to make the joke, C#'s usable. But there's no... Yeah, .NET Core runs. Hang on. I can do a thing. Hanselman .NET Core Pi. There we are. .NET Core on Docker on a Raspberry Pi is doable. We can also do it without Docker, I think, now. Can we? Yeah, this is without Docker, I think. Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with Fuel Snable here and with Hemet They're kind of they're looking enough like different enough languages to me where yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you see some of the problems that I've had, James Dunn Games, it's been because I've learned a small amount of C previously. I've kind of fallen into a few C-isms where people on the stream have helped me out and said, no, there's a C++ism here that's probably safer and better in this situation. So, I mean, if you want to go for C, go for it. C++, yes, is a superset of C, but it's a huge superset. I mean, you know, most compilers, I think all compilers support C++, even 17, really. You know, I'm running C++ 17 on Visual Studio. I'm sure GCC and Clang both support new standards. I'd say if you want to learn C first, but that's great. But they are such different languages actually now. I don't. It's weird. As much as C++ is a strict superset of C, and C is basically usable in C++ compilers, they are different enough now that I wouldn't kind of say one were a prerequisite for the other. Yeah, Hemmert, I agree with that. The only thing C would be nice still in for C++ is if you have to use C libraries in C++. But yeah, there are C++ techniques to make that nicer. So really, I struggle to. I wouldn't go with that old. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, that's a fair point for your saying, but it's not even a strict superset anymore. Well, there's another proof where it's not a strict superset. It can't be a strict superset because that would be valid C. Line 47, that line there, works in C and doesn't work in C++. To make that work in C++, you've got to add the const. So I don't know. I'm getting to the point where I would almost not advise learning C first. I would advise doing C++ in its own right. Anyway, as everyone's sort of saying, and I'm very, very much in agreement with, it is late. Oh gosh, C implement some stuff in C11.
Our community grows.
Thank you very much, Avino1, or Avino1, however that's pronounced. Please do tell me if I'm butchering the pronunciation of your name, everybody, and I will try and unbutcher it in the best way that I can. C implement some stuff in C11 that's not in C++. Oh, so they are actually diverging now in both directions. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, so really, I think what we're pointing at is that C and C++ are just completely different languages now. Yes, that is a fair point, Minxie Rose. We have been going for, oh gosh, a long time. We're coming up to 4 hours into a 1.5 hour stream here. So, at this point, I'm going to suggest that we call it a night tonight. We should be back here on Sunday at 8 p.m. London time, which is, 3 p.m. on Sunday, East Coast of America. Midday on the West Coast, around then. Please do come and join the Discord and all the rest of it. So let's have there's some social information in the chat. Early morning. It's not early morning yet. It's 2 minutes to morning. It is 2 minutes before early morning for me. But yeah, 8 p.m. London time, whatever that is in your time zone. And I do think I'd like to find a way of letting you guys. You're an hour ahead then, Hemet. It's 2 minutes to midnight for me, so it's not morning yet. James, you think the challenge? You like the challenge? It's mind opening, adjusting to the new syntax. It's interesting. I mean, if you're looking to adjust to different syntaxes as well, look at F sharp, which is what we were doing earlier on stream, or what we'll be doing on Tuesday. That's got really interesting syntax for a C sharp developer, because you start to see where a lot of the C sharp 8 features come from, like the C sharp 8 switch expression. Look at match expressions in F sharp. We've had those in F sharp for a good number of years. So if you want to see the direction C sharp's going into, to some degree, F sharp's not a bad place to go. Hemet. I'm just going to do that one. Declare a empty lambda and execute it. I love a language where that's valid syntax. I mean, it does nothing really, but just the fact that that's valid syntax makes me chuckle. Well, you've just written exactly the same thing there, except that you've explicitly defined that it points to void. But yeah, it's the same. I'm going to fire the bot up just before we go. So, are there any programming streamers that we fancy passing a swift follow to? Twitch.tv/ Let's go and have a look to see if anyone of the live coders is online. Let's go and, by the way, live coders is down sort of over there somewhere on your screens. The stream team which I belong to. Oh, no, I'm the only one of us online. Oh, I wanted to raid a live coder. Let's see who's online who I am following. Let's see. Okay, there are people online that I'm following. Or let's go into the science and technology programming-y kind of area on Twitch and see if we get anything interesting here. Does that, Sedwho12 is coding. Who is Sedwho12? Who is that? In which case, James, do they talk on stream and do they swear on stream? Because these are questions which we need to know the answer to. CGLM alternative. Well, I'll tell you what, working on C is always a fun idea. Shall we go and raid someone that's... I'd rather... I mean, if they're going to be sweary... I'll tell you what, let's go with the idea that we... Oh, no, hang on, I'm sorry. Someone's just gone live that we are going to be raiding. Because I know that they're safe to raid. Sorry, but it makes the most sense for me to do this. Team like is Zorkenheimer in the team by any chance? No. Why not? Oh, that needs fixing. We need to do something. Right, Zorkenheimer is going live soon, so we can sit and chat for a few moments. I'll go into chat mode. Does anyone on here, anyone on here who streams, I could do with a... Oh, wow, that's pretty... Okay, so it's back there before. Just measuring a few things. Oh, green screen's going to be fun. So, I would like, at some point, to get a green screen. A decent green screen setup in here. Does anyone have a good green screen idea that they would like me to work with? Or, sorry, does anyone know of a good green screen that's cheap? So the Elgato one is not in my price range, people. I do not make money on this. So the fact that I don't make money on Twitch, or very, very insignificant in fairness, means that I'm not going to be ploughing money into this like there's no tomorrow. Let me do a quick copy and paste of something here, because now that we're into chat mode, I might as well. You're probably going to hear something for a second. Oh, no, you're not. Okay, cool. So we're going to raid Zorkenheimer now. Zorkenheimer is a streamer who is developing a game using 8-bit NES assembly. So, literally going down to the old Nintendo systems, the original, if you like, Nintendo Entertainment System, and developing for that using the assembly language on it. Anyone who thinks C and C++ have got low-level hints, this is pure low-level. Really nice guy, really great guy, really helpful if people want to start using NES assembly and whatever, and joining in with him. He's incredibly, incredibly helpful. So that's something. Mincy Rose, you've seen people use green bed sheets. That's an idea. I've got nowhere in here to hang on though, so I do need it to be basically freestanding. Which is a slight irritant. I might have to give up the idea of leaning back on stream, but to be fair, I shouldn't be leaning back on stream anyway. Not really. I should just have the green screen pretty much behind my chair and have to move it to get out. That's possibly a thing that's going to have to happen. I'll work it out, or I'll cut the camera frame or something. I'll do something about that. Anyway, let's go and raid Zorkenheimer. It's been wonderful seeing everybody. We will be doing quite an amount more on this bot on Sunday night, 8 PM London time. There is a raid call. Thank you very much, Mincy Rose, for getting Hubblebot to do that. So yeah, anyone who is a subscriber, please raid with the subscribers raid call. Anyone who isn't, please raid with the other one. And I will see everybody on Sunday evening. Thank you all very, very much for being here. Thank you to everyone that's followed. Thank you to everyone that's hosted. And I will see you all very shortly.
Move on to the preprocessor stuff, but